So somebody wrote me a question, and he said, I had a call tonight from a friend in tears, so very concerned for the salvation of my soul, with questions about if I believe in the Christian Satan. My response, of course, was no, with follow-up comments on that this is Satan's plan, what he wants, for you not to believe in him. Much concern over my dedication to the Dharma and Buddhism, confusing these things as false idols and so forth. There wasn't much I could say to pacify him. He knows I'm a genuinely good person who does his best to benefit all those around me. However, because I don't take credence in their God and devil, it takes everything away from me. I couldn't logic my way out of the situation with my friend. I suppose this is just how things go in a Western society in Buddhism. After all these years, this was just my first concentration. I take this experience in him as a very kind and high teacher. It allowed me to tell him my beliefs and tell him more about the Dharma, but to no effect. But it strengthened my resolve in the Dharma and demonstrated how confused most of us are about the true nature of things in reality. Okay, so I think most of us have experienced this at some time or another. Even before I became a Buddhist, my very, very first college roommate was a born-again Christian and was so worried about my soul and what was happening to me. Even though I told her she really didn't need to worry, it was all okay. You know, she had a lot of awful things in her family going on. And she was actually questioning this kind of view of God and Satan herself. But now I just seem to have the karma of sitting next to these kinds of people on plane rides, especially long plane rides. And so I've tried a number of times, you know, as this person in the email to me did, to kind of talk and, you know, have a mutual exchange or to explain and try and help that person make sense of what I believe. And I've discovered it doesn't work. Not at all. They can't take in any new information. So the last time it happened was a time after we had been doing NVC for a while. So I decided this time, instead of talking about Buddhism and my beliefs and this kind of stuff, I was just going to try expressing my feelings and my needs, or what would make sense as my feelings and needs, you know. So this man was, again, you know, so concerned with me, and, you know, that I'm standing on the edge of a cliff and about to fall over, and unless I take refuge in God and Jesus, you know, it's going to be the end and everything. And I told him, you know, that I practice abandoning the 10 non-virtues. And I said, you know, I feel offended that you don't, that you still see my life as objectionable, even though I keep the same ethical conduct that your God described. Yeah. And then I said, and I also feel excluded. It seems to me that God was trying to include everybody, but I feel very excluded by what you're saying, because you're telling me that I, you know, that I don't fit into God's kingdom and I don't fit in with the right way things should be done. And I said, you know, it doesn't make sense to me that if God created all these beings, because I was talking in his language, you know, according to what he believes, that if God created all these beings, that he would want some to exclude others and criticize others, even though they were living a good and ethically moral life. You know, that doesn't make sense to me that God would want that. And if God were compassionate, it seems to me like he wouldn't want people to judge others for how they lived, but would accept them, especially if they were living a good life and if they were peaceful and kind people. And so I just dealt with it on that level, and I said, I need respect, and for what I'm doing, and I need, acknowledgement for the good things that are in my life. And so I just did it completely in an NVC way. I didn't talk anything about Buddhism so much, except to let him know about the 10 non-virtues, so he knew about that. And at the end, it was very interesting because one of his last comments to me was, although it might seem I'm very dogmatic, ... kind of, I'm trying to do this for your own good. But I thought, oh wow, maybe he saw the way he's coming across to other people. Maybe by responding in NVC terms, he came to ask himself, well, how am I coming across? And am I really being kind to people in the way I'm talking to them? Am I doing what God would want me to do? So I don't know, but that's how it all ended, and I'm hoping that it just brought about a little bit more reflection in his mind. So I thought I would share that. When people come to the door, and they have come to the door, not so much recently, but when we first moved here in the early years, people would come to the door and want to talk about the good news and everything. And I would just look at them and say, Jesus taught many wonderful things about love and compassion and ethical conduct, and if you live according to them, you'll live a very good life. And then I said, and I'm a Buddhist, and I wish you everything good. Bye-bye. But they were very happy with what I said, because I acknowledged, But I wasn't going to invite them in and engage in a dialogue, because I knew there was no dialogue to be had.